Hey everybody, it's Alex from Master Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of Virtual Chats. And today on the show, we're excited to welcome the one and only Sean Killian of Vio-Lence. Sean, how you doing?
Great, man.
So I just want to say thank you so much for joining. Really excited to have you on. So the first question I want to ask you that pretty much I've been asking everybody that I've been speaking to, how you've been handling the craziness in the pandemic.
Uh, I've been pretty good with it. I mean, I got the COVID. It cost us a few shows. I got it back in August.
Mhm.
And I went in, I was fine for the first couple of weeks, and then the third week I went to the hospital, and I was in there for about 7 days, just cycling through all the antibiotics and steroids, and um, I could have probably been in there 4 days, but I had to wait to get through all that stuff because they were
Right,
putting it in my IV. But
right.
I feel fine now. I mean, it was pretty brutal. I got the what's the second variant?
Alpha?
The alpha whatever. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was the first variant.
right.
Yeah, so I got that, and it's funny because I got it from someone who was vaccinated.
Oh,
Yeah. So other than that, I just go about my daily, business here, and I work in construction, so we never stopped. We were always working.
nice.
Yeah, because we were building low income apartments, and the state wouldn't shut that down.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad also works in construction as well, and he's lucky that his business didn't even get shut down or they didn't lose work at all. So thankful for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
I mean, I feel bad for other folks that lost their jobs or closed their businesses, or
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I speak for speaking on like a more positive stuff. I speak for all the fans from the guys who are with you guys since the beginning to us, the younger generation of fans. We're really excited to have Vio-Lence back with new music. Let the World Burn is coming out. I had the chance to listen to it, and it's just as lethal, just as violent as a Nothing to Gain, Eternal Nightmare, Oppressing the Masses. Great stuff. So talk about how the how this EP kind of came together first.
Well, we did the reunion show in Oakland back in uh, March or April of 2019. And then right after that, Sacred Reich asked us if we'd close out their tour with them, do the last two shows. And one of them was in Mesa, and Phil and I were just kind of hanging out. We did our sound check, and then we were back at the hotel just chilling, and we just started talking about playing new, writing new music, and what that would look like, and who would be involved, and how we make it work. And so it was kind of like, well, let's not do a whole record and commit to that, because we haven't been in the studio, we haven't written in a long time, and putting that big burden on our shoulders was probably not a good idea. So then we decided on 4 songs. And then we had a lot of shows booked for 2020, and then we did the 70 Tons of Metal cruise, and then we played with uh, Carcass and Razor and Power Trip in Texas that weekend. And then we got home, we had some more shows booked, and then they got canceled like the last week, like the week before we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
So then that just created time in the studio to, instead of rehearsing for shows, to write. And so Flesh from Bone was the first song we wrote. And then we kind of went on from there, and we just kind of got on a roll. So 4 songs turned into 5. And then we had some time where we were like, well, let's, we had a show booked in Oakland, and we were going to play California Uber Alice at the show. So
Yeah.
then we started talking. It's like, well, let's record this, because Christian's got Pro Tools, and he's good, really good at it. And so
Yeah.
he came up from Venice Beach, and we set up in the rehearsal studio and recorded that. And he took it and mixed it and made it sound like it does. And then we did that video in Phil's bar, because his bar
Nice.
was closed.
Oh yeah.
So we figured, well, let's go there and do it. So we did the video there, and it was fun. And we kind of did it as something just to have something to do,
Yeah.
and get it out, get something out there. So, uh, it's just that time, that dead downtime gave us time to get this together. But I'm really happy with the record. I mean, we didn't compromise, or we tried to make it. I mean, because Vio-Lence, we always tried to make shit heavy,
Yeah.
from Eternal Nightmare to Oppressing the Masses. Nothing to Gain. That's where the grunge kind of came in, and the labels were really pushing all thrash bands and bands that were transitioning out of the thrash era.
Yep.
And so, Nothing to Gain was a record we did, and we liked it, but it wasn't the same drive because had a lot of outside influences pushing us.
Yeah.
But this EP, with Metal Blade Records, they're 100% behind us, and the whole point for us, Phil and I, were like, well, we're just going to go out and put together a thrash album, and we're not going to compromise for anyone. So, and that's where Metal Blade comes in, and they're just great to work with because this is their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel that maybe, even though it's an EP, that this is something that maybe should have followed Oppressing the Masses?
Yeah, probably would have. I mean, maybe not exactly this, because we wrote some songs when we got back together for Chuck's Thrash of the Titans, to help Chuck out with his cancer that he was dealing with, and then we did some other shows, and we were writing them. But we didn't use, that was before Phil joined Machine Head, but we didn't use any of those riffs on this EP.
Yeah.
So we weren't trying to salvage what we had, so we just wanted to go fresh.
Yeah.
So this would have, if we kept going, this would have probably been maybe a couple albums after Nothing to Gain.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, because we had stuff written, but it was just, it doesn't fit today for us.
Yeah. Do you guys maybe at least plan on doing a full length at some point?
No, we like doing the 5 songs, because if we do a full album, I mean, you're looking at maybe January of next year, or December of next year. I mean, because it takes a long time to do 12 songs and then get in the studio. And I mean, that's a lot of commitment. So we like doing the 5-song format. Is good for us because, we're actually writing stuff now, and I'm supposed to go demo some vocals in the studio with Juan at Trident Studios here shortly.
Nice.
And then, so if we do 5 songs, we could possibly have something out in December or January of next year. So, and then we just keep producing product for fans, and
nice,
as opposed to having this big gap.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was always the problem back in the day, because you'd write Eternal Nightmare, and then 2.5 years later, Oppressing the Masses comes out, and a couple of years later, Nothing to Gain. And it's just kind of something we want to keep pumping out stuff when we have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you're saying, Juan Ortega, he did a great job on the production. He always gives the albums that he works on such a big punch and big sonic attack. I love the last 2 Testament albums that he has done. He does great work. Yeah, well,
we recorded with Juan, and then we sent the digitals to Madsen in Norway, and he did the, and then we used Ted Jensen. He mastered the stuff. I think he's out of Florida.
Yep.
So it was kind of a group effort. But yeah, Juan's great to work with, and he's good in the studio because he's worked with so many people, and he's got because when you're recording, it's it's always good to have a third person who's not really listened to it much, hear it, and then hey, maybe you could do this a little bit different than that, and we'll double up this, or we'll So he's really good at helping to produce the music, the vocals, and push the band.
Yeah, sure. And speaking of, going back to talk about Phil for a second, when it comes to the writing in Vio-Lence, is it a group thing, all of you guys, or is it mainly you and Phil doing the writing?
It's me and Phil. So he'll come in with some riffs, and then we'll try to structure the song, the way we want it to go. It's and sometimes we'll is it the intro to Let the World Burn? That was 2 riffs that we combined into one. And so it's we do stuff like that, but mostly he comes in with the riffs, we structure it kind of together, and then I take that and put the vocals over the top, and then I'll be, I might come back and go, well, I need to shorten this section up by 2 bars, but it's just he and I. Perry's in the room with us, and mostly he'll get he'll get down, we'll do a riff and a change, and then he'll get it down, and then we'll change it and drive him crazy because in his mind he's got a clock, and then we totally change it. Like,
Yeah.
Once he figures it out, that's when we usually change it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So yeah, it's a fun
yeah.
process.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you one thing. Obviously, it's been well documented. A few years back, you had your medical experience. Was it cirrhosis?
Yeah.
Um, when the band did the reunion for that benefit show for you, um, did that kind of plant the seeds for an eventual violence reunion?
Yeah, well, so Phil did a golf tournament, and a lot of people showed up, Chuck Billy and some other people that played golf out there to help raise money for me. And then we had a dinner and a silent auction. And then we did the, Beth Reisner and Craig LaCicero and a few other folks got together and pulled all those people together to play those violent songs. And, like Tom Hunting and, who's dealt with medical stuff himself.
Yep.
And so it was interesting because I think it was about 2,000 people, and I was sitting at the soundboard. They had set up a spot for me to sit because I was really deathly ill at the time.
Right.
And so I had a procedure actually at the golf tournament. I went into the emergency room and had a surgery done, and that Monday, and then Sunday was the golf tournament, and I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the show, the benefit show, I was sitting at the soundboard, and someone pointed out how there was a huge line for merchandise, to buy stuff, the shirts and everything. So it was kind of like, well, I'm tired of sitting here, because I was still kind of moving around, and so I went over where they were selling merch and started signing autographs and taking pictures, and it was a fun experience. But it wasn't till I was in the hospital and had my surgery, and I woke up, and all I could think about was, how do I pay these people back? Because what that money did, it helped pay for medical bills and keep my family life for my kids and stuff normal. So because I was out of work for about 6 months, and so that helped keep that in order, and so all I could think about is, how do I get back and thank these people? And so the only way I could think about was being on stage again, and I didn't know what that looked like because at the time Phil was still in Machine Head.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about who. Okay.
And there's just a little glitch right there.
Yeah. So it was like I wanted to get back and do something, and then Phil was available, so I sent them the text saying, "Hey, let's do a show," and it was amazing because the first show sold out, I think 5 hours, and then we had the second show and it sold out in like minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And we did a matinee, because I was just like, man, Sunday, that's a tough deal. We couldn't get Friday, it was already booked. So but so the guy suggested, well, you could do a matinee show, and then everyone would be able to come to the violent show, see us play. I remember they opened the fucking doors to let people out. It was still sunny out after we played, which is very unusual.
Nice.
And then everyone got to go home and see the last episode of what is that? The Viking TV show that was Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yeah. So that last episode was that same day.
Nice.
So Phil's like, man, we can get out of here and I can get home and watch Game of Thrones.
That'd be something.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can really say is that, we're all thankful that you beat it and that you're happy and you're healthy again and you're still here raising violence. So
yeah. I am too, man. I'm really happy.
Yeah, for sure. So if it's okay with you, I have a couple of fan questions that were submitted. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So this one comes from Kave. He asks, were all those maniacal vocals on Eternal Nightmare recorded in one take, or were they meticulously planned out?
So when we recorded that, it was in San Francisco. I forget what the place was called, but it took about 5 days to do all the vocals. you know, and those were like 7 and 8 hour days.
Yep.
So nothing was ran through straight through. I mean, you know, back then I didn't have the skills I have today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, to go through all those songs, because we did record, what did we record? Because I want to say did we record Torture Tactics? There was we might have recorded Paraplegic and then decided not to put it on the record. So there was 8 songs we originally recorded. And so, yeah, that took about 8 hours a day, 5 straight days. Yeah.
So nice. So, and this next one comes from my buddy Derek. He goes, do you or any of the Vio-Lence guys have any cool stories or memories of Toronto up here?
I remember Toronto because the train last run was midnight.
Yeah.
And we were kicking ourselves in the ass. It was like, man, if we knew that, we would have played her. We would have told the other band, you can play last. We're going to play first. Because everyone was bailing to catch the train.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was my Toronto experience. That and Perry and our sound guy, Dave Westman, and I, we decided to venture around. Well, no, that was in Montreal when we played Montreal. We ventured around to check shit out, and then we got lost. And it was freezing. It was like 15 below. And suddenly, not a single Montreal resident on the street spoke English.
Oh, wow.
So they'd be like speaking French to us. And we're sitting there looking at them like, we know you speak English. I know you speak English. We're looking for our hotel.
Yeah, don't be lying here.
Yeah. It was during that whole time where they wanted to secede. You know, yeah. So.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, the train at Toronto runs at midnight.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
and it's still doing that to this day.
I'm sure. So if we make it back to Toronto, we will not be playing last.
Yeah,
So
for sure. or even if you do, I'll probably tell like the club to tell like, can you make them play earlier so they don't have to like have the train issue again?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and this last one comes from David. He asks, when it came time to find a replacement for Ray Vegas, was Bobby Gustafson first mind, or were there others?
No, Bobby was the one because Perry and Bobby have been friends for a long time, and they had those conversations in the past. So when we decided to move on from Ray, Bobby was the natural choice because Ray is more of a punk rock guitar player, so a lot of open strumming as opposed to Bobby. You know, Phil really wanted someone that was going to mute the strings and do the down picking that we need for that sound. And so Bobby was, you know, Perry was always pushing Bobby on us. So it was like, yeah, well, come on, Bobby. And I mean, you know, this fucking guy wrote the 4 best albums that Overkill have. Yep. You know. And so now it's like, you got this veteran and he can play the leads great. Yeah, he's got all his leads on the EP and they sound awesome. Yeah, they're very creative. So yeah, Bobby was a natural choice. So we didn't really go out to look for anyone else.
Nice. And he's definitely still killing it after 35 plus years.
Oh, dude, his solos are a killer. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And while we were earlier on the subject of Eternal Nightmare, I wanted to ask you, with the album turning 35 next year, do you guys maybe envision a scenario where you may celebrate it by playing the full album?
Well, when we first came back, that Oakland show, we played the full album.
Okay.
First show. When we went to Belgium, because that was the first time we were in Europe, we did the same thing, played it straight through.
Nice.
Yeah, I like playing it straight through. It's fun, you know, and the fans dig it.
Yeah.
You know, we like to mix our setup a little bit, you know, but we'll see. We'll probably get something out here. We'll figure out something to do for that 35th anniversary for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and anyway, Sean, that's pretty much all I got for you. I just want to say thanks for a great chat. I really had a lot of fun chatting with you. I've been a fan, and good luck with everything going forward with the new EP and shows going forward. And hopefully we'll see you guys up here sometime soon.
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All the best, and take care.
Cheers.
Okay. See you, man.